Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, dense forest where the familiar trails have become overgrown, tangled, and difficult to navigate. That is exactly what happens inside your legs when your circulation begins to fade over the decades. As a surgeon who has spent 40 years navigating the human body in the operating room, I have witnessed firsthand the silent, structural damage left behind when those vital internal pathways are neglected. Most people have been conditioned by society to believe that casual walking is enough to keep their legs healthy and vibrant. But in my research lab, we discovered something that surprised even us. It turns out that simple, rhythmic forward walking does not actually trigger the deep vascular channels that feed your muscles the concentrated oxygen they need to maintain strength, stability, and true independence. When your circulation begins to decline, your body does not sound a loud, alarming siren. It whispers. You might notice your feet feeling consistently colder than those around you, or perhaps your legs feel heavy, leaden, and sluggish at the end of a standard day. Maybe you experience a strange, fleeting tingling sensation or persistent, dull cramping that you dismiss as merely a quirk of getting older. These are not inevitable, unavoidable signs of aging. They are the quiet, urgent warning signs of a system that is struggling to fight the relentless, daily pull of gravity. The good news, however, is that you possess a second heart hidden away in your lower legs. It is known as the calf muscle pump, and it is a true masterpiece of biological engineering. Every time you consciously contract these muscles, you are effectively squeezing the veins, acting like a bellows that forces blood upward against the downward pull of gravity, similar to wringing out a saturated sponge. To get that secondary heart working at its full, life-changing capacity, we have to look at 5 specific surgeon-approved movements. These aren't just exercises in the way a gym trainer might suggest. These are targeted clinical protocols. The first is the progressive heel raise. This isn't just about bouncing up and down mindlessly. It is about the technique of precision. You rise up to the count of 3, hold that peak position for 2 full seconds, and squeeze your calf muscles with every ounce of intent, as if you're trying to crack a walnut between them. This specific hold builds something we call metabolic stress, which is a positive signal to your body. It tells your brain, we need more highways. Your body responds by growing new, tiny capillaries, essentially building new infrastructure for your blood to travel. By doing this, you create a pressure differential that can increase your venous return by up to 40%. Next, we look at the seated leg extension. Most people assume this is just for building quad strength, but when you combine it with pulling your toes back toward your shins, a movement called dorsiflexion, you engage a secondary muscle pump along your shin called the tibialis anterior. This creates a synchronized milking action that clears out the stagnant blood that pools during those long, sedentary hours of sitting. This is vital because blood that lingers in the lower legs is the root cause of swelling, skin discoloration, and chronic discomfort. When you perform this, imagine you are pushing an invisible wall away with your heel. Keep the tension constant. Do not let the muscle go limp at the bottom. Then, there's the wall sit combined with a calf pulse. By holding a sturdy squat, you create a sustained compression on the major arteries in your thighs. When you add a rapid, rhythmic calf pulse to this position, you create a surge of pressure that literally blasts blood through even the tiniest, long-neglected capillaries. It is like opening a dam that has been blocked by years of sediment. You are forcing oxygen into tissues that may have been starved of nutrients for a decade. If you find a full squat too much, slide your back down only halfway. The key is the sustained tension combined with the rhythmic pulse. For the 4th movement, we take the challenge to the floor with supine leg cycling. By lying flat on your back, you remove the constant, taxing fight against gravity. When you cycle your legs in the air and vary your intensity, alternating between slow, controlled, deep-range circles and rapid, explosive bursts, you trigger the release of nitric oxide. This miraculous molecule acts as a chemical signal to your blood vessels, telling them to relax, dilate, and widen. It effectively turns narrow, congested side streets into wide-open superhighways for oxygen-rich blood, allowing it to flow with minimal resistance. This is why many of my patients describe the feeling after this exercise as being similar to a professional massage. Finally, we arrive at the crown jewel of our protocol, the backward walking movement. When you walk backward, you force your legs to fire in unique, complex patterns that your brain and muscles have likely not used in years. It requires 30% more energy than walking forward, meaning your muscles must demand more oxygen, which in turn forces your body to ramp up circulation to meet that demand. It is quite literally like jump-starting a car battery that has been sitting in the freezing cold. When you pair this with forward fold toe touches, you create a massive vascular flush that clears out debris and restores elasticity to your arteries. You do not need fancy equipment, an expensive gym membership, or hours of free time to achieve these results. You can perform these movements right in your living room while your coffee brews or while you watch the evening news. The transformation does not happen overnight, but my patients often report that within just a single week, their legs feel significantly lighter. The constant dull ache begins to lift, and they feel a surge of energy they haven't felt in decades. You are the sole architect of your own mobility. These 5 movements are the precise tools you need to reclaim your independence and ensure that your legs carry you through the life you want to live. It is never too late to start, and the science clearly shows that the human body is far more resilient and capable of repair than most people dare to believe. Start with the heel raises today. Focus on the squeeze, feel that warmth returning to your extremities, and trust that you are actively building a stronger, more vibrant, and more capable version of yourself. Your legs are the foundation of your world. It is time to treat them with the care and the intensity they truly deserve. As you incorporate these, remember that the burn you feel is the feeling of your body waking up. It is the feeling of oxygen flooding back into long-starved tissues. It is a good pain, a productive pain. When you feel it, don't stop. That is exactly when the healing is happening. You have the power to change your physical trajectory. You have the power to stay mobile, to stay active, and to stay independent. This protocol is the first step on that journey. Let today be the day you decide that your legs will not be a source of limitation, but a source of strength for all the years to come.